And again, whatever that is. And I think that's the whole purpose of life. The purpose of life, the definition I've given to it, I should say, is its progressive realization of the truth. And just like James, interestingly, just like James, the voice that I hear, it's interesting, and the language that I hear it in is given to me in my own voice and given to me in the language that I understand. Mm-hmm. And I've had some people ask me, well, how do I know if what I'm hearing is truly coming from something outside of me or if it's just me giving myself an answer? And I asked that question one time, and the answer I was given was, you're going to hear the voice in a voice that you recognize, primarily your own, and you're also going to get the information in a way that you're going to understand it so that you can understand it. The challenge for most people is trusting that, recognizing that that information you're being given is the truth for you, and when you act upon it, you're going to have the experience or the results that you're looking for. All too often, though, we ignore that guidance that we're being given and believing that we either know better ourselves or that it's the information we're given is just not true, that can't possibly be the way that life works, where we have this ability, and I think we all have the ability, so I don't think that I have a specific gift or that James or anybody else does that's any different than what everybody else has the opportunity to tap into. We just need to trust that that's part of what life is about, and when we trust that, we see life really unfold a little bit differently. And I think that the choices we make are going to be different. I think we end up moving more towards the life experience we want to have as opposed to resisting all that life's putting before us.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of like, trusting in your inner self and your spirit guides and your deceased loved ones coming into your dreams and actually giving you information. So, James, your life event of surviving this Stage 4 melanoma certainly changed your life. And you talk about this in your book, I Used to Have Cancer, How I Found My Own Way Back to Health. Do you feel like this experience that you had, which you walked us through and was very, very deep, has expanded your awareness of who you are?
Oh, yes, it has, and it's over the last 30-plus years, I've learned so much, but back then, it was all a new experience. It was almost like being born again, like learning new things and forgetting about the past, forgetting about all the things that happened to you, forgetting about the things that you didn't do the way you probably wish you'd have done, and it was like being a child again and learning new things, learning how to eat properly, learning why I got sick in the first place, learning how to balance myself on the mind, body, spirit level, learning everything and learning to accept each day. And if I didn't do as well on today, tomorrow's a new day. To learn that life is about lessons and learn about how things, life can be wonderful, if you look at it and take it one day at a time. And that was something that was very important for me to learn, that to be able to go forward and to be able to give back and learn from the things that I learned and then share the things I learned with others and become that minister that I dreamed of being when I was a little boy. It really has enriched my life. It's made me look at life different than most people. Of course, when you go through a near-death experience at a relatively younger age, you look at life different, and a lot of things that are important to other people are not as important to me, and I sometimes wonder why everybody is, gets so upset over the wrong things, and why we do what we do. But yes, it's changed my life, and clean, healthy living and balanced living and diet and exercise. And I used to run. I ran all the time. I overdid everything. If a little's good, a lot's better. But now I've learned how to balance. I know what the balance word means. And that's really all the cancer was. After I looked at it and learned about it over the years, the body is just out of balance. It's trying to get your attention. It's trying to say to you, look, I'm going to give you one more chance here. It's up to you, but, you got to become your own guide, your own guru. You have to listen and use your intuition and learn about that, because if you don't, then you're not gonna be around that much longer, because unfortunately it has that part of it that's dripping in fear. And, most people can't get over the fear long enough to get in touch with their real self. And one thing that was told to me by an interesting doctor once, that was an anthroposophical doctor that was different than the doctors that most people go to. But he told me the reason I got sick was that my body and my spirit had separated. And that I needed to bring the body and the spirit back together, in order to get my whole mind, body, and spirit, well again. And I found that very interesting. And I did, and I continue to do it. It's not an easy thing, as we know, but every day, it's a new day. It's a new life. It's like the new life cycle every day.
It's amazing how when you go through a crisis, no matter what it is, or a big life change, you suddenly look at the crisis that other people talk about from a different point of view. You put it into a different perspective. So I'm going to ask you both, what message do you want your readers to take with them from your book? What is the most important message that you think they need to get from your work? And we'll start with you, Jim.
Well, for me, the intention behind the book is not to get people to accept or believe in my life perspective, but it's to give them another perspective that they can look at and from which they can develop their own. So I guess if I were to say, what is the purpose of the book? What is the intention? It's to get people to think for themselves. It's to get people to let go of anything that they discover is no longer true for them, which would then allow space for the new truth to come in. And then it's that process of constantly shedding the untruths, allowing the new truth to come in, growing from that experience, continuing to move on, and just getting back to what I said about what I believe is the purpose of life, and that is the progressive realization of the truth. That's the process we're going through.
And what about you, James? What do you want the readers to take away from your book? Your book, which is I Used to Have Cancer, How I Found My Own Way Back to Health.
I think I want them to know that no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad the diagnosis is, that you can't give up. There's always a way, no matter what. Whatever you're told, don't believe it if they say that there's nothing else they can do for you. You have to understand that there's so much that can be done. You have to go within yourself. The answers are within. The answers are gonna connect with you one way or another, but you have to do it on your terms. You have to understand that the death cancer is not a death sentence, and you just can't mess around with it. And if I can do it and other people are doing it, then why can't they do it? There's so much that they can learn. There's so many things out there now. And, of course, my book is about cancer, but it's whatever you're up against in life. If something's not working out, there's a better way. You just got to find it. And don't ever quit. Don't give up. Just go to battle with whatever you have to deal with, because the answers are there. And if you have the will and the determination, and everything starts to kick in when you start to see results, and seeing is believing, and it's just knowing that it is available, it's attainable.
Well, we're going to take another quick break. So please don't go away. We're going to be right back. You're listening to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions7radio.com, and I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas, and we're going to be picking up this conversation as soon as we're back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Canavas, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing Shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Animal Connections with Laura Rowley is an intuitive show created for you to learn what it's like to talk to animals. Laura shares 20 years of experiences of being a pet psychic and healer every Friday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, media partner for the Omega Institute. Our beloved animals share our lives and have amazing insights into our well-being, providing us with opportunities for personal growth once we truly begin to listen. It's fun to use animal wisdom to enhance our emotional and spiritual world. Who better than our furry friends to teach us the wisdom born of unconditional love?
Are you searching for a way to help create global change? Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network's vision is to have an eclectic group of radio hosts dedicated to educating, enlightening, and helping humankind with positive messages and tools that enhance lives using different modalities and programs. If you would like to join our team and help illuminate the universe, call Deborah at 508-226-1723 or Deborah at dreamvisions7radio.com.
If you're living with fear and stress in your life, there is an answer.
If you're ready for a better way, step through The Doorway.
The Doorway is a multimedia online course for transcending fear, transforming relationships, accessing inner guidance, and experiencing more inspiration and trust in your life.
To learn more about these online courses based on the teachings of A Course in Miracles and David Hoffmeister, go to acimcourses.com.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Dreaming Healing Show on Dreamvision7radio.com, and I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. Our guests tonight are talking about surviving crisis, for one thing, but also how you come through that storm a stronger person. So we were talking about what they wanted you, the listeners, to get out of their books, and now I'm going to ask them to share their contact information with you. So let's start with you, Jim. How can people find you, Jim Phillips, and your book?
Well, the book title is The Key to Life, Living in Full Expression. And I do want to point out, just before I give the information, the word life is the acronym for living in full expression, so that people understand that that's part of what we're here to do. That's how we're to live life, is to get to our truth and live in full expression of that truth. Having said that, my website is livinginfullexpression.com. They can find all the information about me. I have a lot of downloads, ebooks that are on there. They can order my book. I'm also in a movie called Becoming the Keys. They can also get the movie on my website. And then I have another book that I've written that was an ebook, and that's called From Inspiration to Intention. And then if they want to email me directly, it's just jim@livinginfullexpression.com.
Thank you. And that's Jim Phillips with 2 L's, Phillips. And James Templeton, how can we find you? And James's last name is Templeton. How can we find you in your book?
Well, you can find me at templetonwellness.com, and that's my foundation. And my foundation, I'm interviewing people that have had late-stage cancer and that have survived for 10 years or more, and I'm documenting everything that they have done. I want people to see their example and see the things that are working for these people so that they have a sense of hope, and they too can can have the ability to conquer this thing we call cancer, this disease. And you can also get to me